For the longest time, I looked at my life as this movie setting where I always knew in my head exactly what I wanted to get better in my life. And I knew exactly where I saw myself, where I wanted myself to be in my own mind. But I always waited for it to get better, like it was a movie script on its own, thinking that somehow there was some plot behind the scenes that I wasn't necessarily in control of that was going to force my life to just be where I am. Like no work was required, and like I had like it was such a diluted and horrible thought process that I used to have that I thought that way for years, countless years, and it took a lot for me because I did a lot of self-destructing since I was the age of 18 up until now, or up until I got sober. Like I said, I thought that drinking every single day, like I was, um, back in 2020, 2021, 2022, whatever. I thought that that was going to like me the deluded thoughts that I'd have every single day from sitting there drinking my sorrows away and drinking because I'm depressed and making an excuse that that's okay for me to be able to drink because I'm depressed, but somehow in the back of my head still believing that like, oh, um this magical life that you've always dreamed of, the life that you've always desired, is just gonna come to you. Like you're doing all the wrong things in your life. You're putting in no effort towards your dreams. You're putting in no spiritual progress. You're destroying yourself. And I always saw myself, like my own life, like I was watching my own life as if I'm not the one that has the power to make the choices in my own life. Like I was always going to be put in the right place no matter what. And the consequence of thinking that way for a long time is you lose track of time. You lose track of years that you'll never get back. And I don't say that to be like, oh, I regret every single thing in my life, because if a lot of the bad things didn't happen in my life that did happen, then I wouldn't be the person that I am today. I wouldn't have shaped myself into the mindset and the positive spiritual energy that I have towards like God now, and my belief in God, and just believing completely different than I did, and the power to get sober from alcohol and consistently be sober now for years on end because of the love that I was able to have for myself and have for God and have for life that I thought I hated. I don't discredit those things at all, but one thing I realize modern day that I still do, even though my mindset's a lot better, I'm sober, I can think clearly, is that sometimes I still do see myself like getting in those certain situations where I'm like, if something rough is happening, I don't, my thought process isn't to do something to better my life in the situation. It's not always, okay, this is going wrong, so this is what I need to do to fix that. Sometimes it is something happens that I don't like, or something is not necessarily going my way in a certain scenario. And my thought process is remembering where I want to be, like envisioning all the other dreams that I haven't accomplished yet in my head, and envisioning where I want my life to be, and how I want this thing to be fixed. But like just still sometimes thinking in my head that life gets perfect on its own. And although life will never be perfect, I use that lightly, like to say that it's a diluted thought process. Um, and I don't just find myself doing that with like issues in life or whatever. I genuinely feel like I, not purposely, but sometimes accidentally or incidentally, whatever, I find myself hiding from an issue that I know what to do and how to fix it, but also showing people a different angle of my life that's not necessarily 100% the full authentic truth. And by that I mean like showing people, like I want people to know that my life is great because I've worked hard for my life to be better, and it is better, but sometimes I step outside of the reality. I step outside of what's real and what's fiction. And sometimes you prioritize things first that you shouldn't. Like I'll prioritize from time to time. I'm working on it. It's a work in progress, but there's sometimes I will prioritize letting people know things on social media, like post, oh, I want to post this on my Snap story because I want these people that did me wrong in the past to see that I am doing better. And it's like, that's not good because, and I know all these things, and it's just, I have the human imperfection of being deluded sometimes. But I know that's not healthy. Sometimes the people that did you wrong in the past, with that I feel like a hypocrite because I don't feel like I'm practicing what I preach. I always tell people that the best thing you can do is to forgive people that have done you wrong, because you would want people to do the same for you. But in a way, when I do things like that and I'm doing great in certain areas, but one of my first thoughts is I want to post this so people online can see the people that always doubted me, that saw me at my worst, that judged me. I want them to see that I'm so much better now. And like, oh, middle finger to you. Like, I don't know. It's such a stupid way of thinking, but I find myself still thinking that way sometimes. By no means do I think that way as much now as I used to, but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't still there. And sometimes, like I said, I will prioritize doing something like that, like posting a win in my life just for specific people that doubted me to see, over like further progressing in my life and further tapping into goals, further doing that one thing that I know will make the thing that's stressing me out better. But I choose to prioritize being an actor, almost, like just to let that one person know. And there's not always just one person, but we all have those people or that person or whoever that has doubted us and maybe even used to bully us before, or just treat us like absolute shit. And when you're older, you see things from a whole new light, because you see that you don't see it from that high school drama lens anymore. You see it for what it really is. You see that people can change, and I don't never say nobody can't change, but there's people that even when they get older and they're in their 20s and they're an adult, they carry that bully energy and that energy that you hated so much in school into their adult life. And it's a horrible way of thinking, but I recognize that it's a horrible way of thinking. I don't want to prove things to people who have done me wrong. I don't want to prove that just because you were a piece of shit to me, that I have to like show you that I'm better now. Like it's a very, very negative way of thinking, and I find myself doing it. It happens. But I don't want to be an audience member to my life and script these stupid reasons to be happy. I want to be fully and authentically happy, like I truly have been working towards. And I say all that to just be honest and be truthful, because my life isn't always perfect. My life isn't always great. Getting sober has benefited me greatly. Putting my faith in God has benefited me greatly and abundantly, and I feel like I'm strengthened through that every single day. But now it's just that it's trying to shed that I have something to prove energy. when I should be putting all that energy into furthering my life, furthering my joy, furthering my journey. And I know there's other people that can relate to that. And it felt like I wanted to let it out, because pretending that your life is something else just to prove something is not healthy. And I'm so grateful that I can recognize that now, than before, knowing in my head that that's not the right thing to do, but completely saying, fuck it, I don't care. Nobody's gonna know that my life isn't exactly as perfect as I want it to be. And nobody's gonna know. All I care about is getting at this one person that doubted me and treated me like shit and made me look bad, all this stuff. It's that one person. My life and the life I'm trying to lead now is about forgiving, it's about letting go, it's about growing. And sometimes it's so hard, but the only way to blossom and grow is to do all of those things. And that's why I speak, that's why I like to be honest, because I know it's not always easy. So I don't know what type of day you're having. I hope you're having a beautiful day, but that's what I got for today. And I love you. And wherever you're at, just keep going. Don't be afraid to be honest about how you feel.